Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Missing Gear. Matt, that was a satisfying race.
Dylan, that was a pretty good race. I'm not going to lie to you. Towards the middle of the third stage, I mean, it was good racing in terms of just quality, clean passes. And then it got a lot more interesting.
Oh, yeah.
And I could not be happier about that. So, you were texting me, and you were about 5 seconds ahead watching than I was. Maybe 10 seconds.
Yep.
Because you texted me, and then I'm like, fuck, what happened? And then you said something like, so much for that. I think it was right when Alex Bowman got the lead after green flag stops, which I will say
he overtook
Greg
Denny,
Ives,
right?
Yes, Greg Ives did a great job on that call, bring him down a lap early. They had a better pit road time in terms of total time spent on pit road. I think their crew gained them like a second, and under green flag stops. That was all that they needed to get themselves back up front. Then Jimmy somehow blew a tire after pit roads. I don't know what happened with that. I was kind of just like, well, it's been a shit train anyway for Jimmy, so I just ignored it. He actually still finished 11th, by the way. Surprisingly.
Not bad.
I was shocked that he was even in the top 10. He was hanging on for a while, too. I was like, shit, you got a torn up car. Anyway, not the focus of where we're at.
Then all of a
Kurt Busch stayed out and ran the green flag stops a little longer. Ran his tank and fuel a little longer. Got lucky with a caution. Everybody who already had pitted was a lap down. They took the wave around to get back on the lead lap. Kurt Busch was in the catbird seat.
Oh, yeah.
So, him, God, who else was up there? Ryan Newman, John Hunter Nemechek, who eventually spun out, but John Hunter Nemechek.
Matty D was up there.
Matty D, I believe Blaney was up there.
Yep, Blaney was charging back up.
He was charging back up, yeah.
Same with Denny, but I think Denny was a little behind
Denny got stuck in the pit cycle, and he had to take the wave around, if I remember correctly.
Yep. And then
I believe
there was two more cautions, right? There was
the John Hunter Nemechek spin,
and then the Stenhouse special.
And the Stenhouse special, the Stenhouse 47 special.
I really thought that when the Stenhouse special happened, it was all over for Kurt. Somehow.
I thought so too. I thought
somehow Hamlin or Blaney's going to take this.
Something's going to happen. No, I fully agree. Yeah, Blaney, Eric Jones, Chris Buescher had a good finish.
Oh, yep, Chris Buescher was up there too. I completely forgot about him.
Yeah. Those guys all had good. And let's talk some winners and losers here over the overall race. I'll start with the winner. Obviously, besides Kurt Busch, who won the race, which is an obvious, I'm going to go to Alex Bowman. Was a big winner this race.
It was a good showing.
It was a great showing for Alex Bowman. I think it really showed that they do have speed in that Chevrolet. And I think it is a testament that Alex Bowman is better than I think a lot of people give him credit for. And I know I've said it before that I think he's only good because he's in good equipment. But I think he can actually go out there and win a few races a year.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that'll be good enough for Hendrick.
He's going to have a solid career.
If they have Chase Elliott winning 3 or 4 a year, and Alex Bowman goes out there and wins like 1 or 2, and
I'd
whoever
say
they
he's
put
between
in the
1 to 3. 1 to 3 a year.
Whoever they put in the 48, and then, well, who knows what William Byron will do. We'll get to him in a second. That'll be good for Alex Bowman. I don't think he'll ever win a championship unless the tracks really fall in his favor and he has a good regular season. But I've been surprised before. So, Alex Bowman, one of my winners.
I'll give you a loser. Now, this one, it might be a little bit of a surprise because it was a good race that he had. But I'm going to say Denny Hamlin because Denny Hamlin, he's been good in the playoffs, but Harvick has been so great in the playoffs. He's losing any, claim to this championship. He'll make it to the round of 4. I'm not doubting that. And he might even win the whole thing. But this will be remembered as the season where Harvick was the best driver. And it wasn't Hamlin, because Hamlin's still stuck at 6 wins, and Harvick's
pushed away with 9. I agree.
Yeah.
However, I don't think Denny Hamlin was a loser out of that race. I don't. He finished 3rd, came back, got a good amount of points.
Mm-hmm.
Good enough to where
I think he's Talladega
good enough to where he's
proof.
He's fine.
He's Roval
if
proof.
he goes, I wouldn't say roll. I mean, if he crashes out and he finishes last at Talladega with no stage points, it'll hurt him. But he'll still be, I think, plus 14 on the cut line then.
Mm-hmm.
Assuming there isn't a new winner, which after this last week, especially Talladega,
yeah,
I'm not ruling a single person out of this race. Last restrictor plate race, well, y'all know how that happened. But again, we'll get to that in a second. I'll say another winner, which might say, well, I don't really think so. Joey Logano. Now, hear me out on this one.
My pick. He was my pick this week. Didn't work out very well.
Was he? Wait, I thought I picked Joey. Where'd my sheet go? I don't even remember.
No, I picked Joey.
Oh, you did. I picked Brad. That's right.
Yeah.
I picked Brad.
I
knew I picked Penske. I was all in on Penske.
You heard me.
All in
and I
on
saw
Penske.
the article where Brad's like, yep, we
All
got to
in.
win this race. I don't want to do Daga.
Yeah.
But even
I
though,
was all in
even
on
though
Penske.
Brad's the best Daga driver besides Blaney.
At this stage of the game, yeah.
Yeah.
I was all in on Penske. All 3 of them have ran great there.
Oh,
And they did exactly what I thought they were going to do. They all ran pretty good. Besides some unfortunate events for Joey. But what I want to say is Joey went...
Joey was racing well.
He had a problem. He got into it with Kyle Busch. Big shocker, I know, right?
Oh, yeah.
Kyle Busch drove
Never
off the track,
happens.
in my opinion. But had a flat tire. Or tire going down. I shouldn't say he had a flat tire. He had a tire going down. He stopped under green, went down a lap. Took him almost to the end of the race to get the lap back. But he rallied. And I personally think this was a true testament of what that team can do. Rally to 14th and out of the 25 cars that were on the lead lap. I think that's considered a good day for Joey Logano. Considering if he stayed a lap down, he would have finished 26th. 25th, maybe. He just went and gained 11 stage points with a short window to do it, and I think that was...
Still above the cut line as well.
I think that was just a good overcome for them to just be in an okay spot for the next 2 races, to still be able to points their way in and not be in a must-win, I gotta go out and win the Roval situation.
And he was the winner, and his rival, Kyle Busch, definite loser. Kurt might have killed Kyle's season.
Kyle Busch, again, he finished 6th. I don't think he had that bad of a race.
But, Matt, here's the thing.
I will
He's
agree.
9 below the cut line
I will
now.
agree with the fact that Kurt killed his season, because he did. I will fully agree with that.
I
think this was a good race for Kyle Busch.
It was the outlier win, though, for Kurt. He wasn't good. Kyle's racing without a net, and this just showed what racing without a net can do. He finished 6th, and now he's he's below the cut line.
He's below the cut line.
And now he's going into Talladega, which he's never been good at restrictor plate races.
No,
and
he is not.
Yeah, he'll probably do decent at the Roval, but I mean,
he will have to make some magic happen.
Yes.
In my opinion, he will need to make something happen to get himself out of this hole. And I really think that all the drivers below the cut line need to make something happen. I'd say everybody except Denny and Kevin, and obviously Kurt, because he advanced already, are in good shape. Because everybody else, I mean, Brad's only plus 16.
Yep.
T-Rex, he could be minus 24.
Yes.
I mean, and that is not necessarily a must-win.
Well, I'd say Brad and
pretty close to a
Truex
must-win.
are the only guys with a decent cushion right now.
I don't even think 15
And
points,
by
16
decent
points.
cushion, I mean they're okay. Like,
yeah, I just don't think that's even enough. That's not even close to enough. Really, the only two I'm not worried about is Kevin and Denny. And they'd have to basically finish last the next two races and hope somebody doesn't come and there's a new winner. But I really just think it's a matter of all of them are going to have to just go get stage points. It's not a matter of, oh, I'm plus 20, I'm good. It's a matter of you got to go get those stage points. And even if you get those stage points, the big one's
coming.
Oh, it'll happen. It always has at Talladega, especially in the playoff race. It'll happen. Just a matter of who all gets through. But another loser from this last weekend, which I could not be more happy about, is Austin Dillon.
Yep.
And I will say, in Austin Dillon's defense, the team brought a lot of speed to the playoffs. I will say I think some of it was track position on the Las Vegas race. I think he got lucky in the Darlington race. I think he did really well at the Richmond race. And I think he just kind of coaxed his way through the Bristol race. I don't think he did anything special there, but he had good track position to start this race again. And he was running pretty good, I'm not going to lie, but a belt broke.
Yep.
And cost him a lot of points. And he's a must-win. He's 32 back. He can't make that up. He could, statistically, but
there has to be a big one at Talladega that takes out
everybody but him.
That takes out the real vulnerable cut guys.
And he has to finish above there and get a lot of stage points.
But I mean, it is a restrictor plate race, and he can be pretty aggressive, and I'm
not in any way taking him out of that race.
It's not horrible.
There's nobody
super speedways.
There's nobody in that Talladega race that I'm saying there's no way they're gonna win because it's really a crapshoot. I have no idea. I really don't. Yep. I mean, I can lean towards favorites here, like who has won before and who I know can do it.
Penske's really good, especially at Talladega.
But boy, oh man, I just don't know. I really do not know who can win that.
This is when you throw shit at the wall. This is when you say, I think William Byron's going to win.
Oh, no, don't do that again. Please don't do that again.
No, there won't be a part 2 to that one.
I really hope not.
Is Reed Sorensen racing? I might pick him.
I think he is. Let me check the entry list.
Ooh.
I think he is, actually. Hold on.
You want to know who's due for one? Michael McDowell.
He really is.
Can I throw you a Michael McDowell stat? Let me just pull it up.
Yeah.
I saw this the other day, and I'm like...
Let me see if...
fuck yeah.
I really feel like Reed Sorensen is going to race. Hold on. What did he run before? Oh, no, never mind. J.J. Yeley's in the 27. Unless he's in one of the 50s. No, Joey Gase, 51. James Davison, 53. Oh, you know what? I actually don't think Reed Sorensen is in this race.
Ooh, my heart's breaking.
Brennan Poole is, though. And you know who else is?
Who?
Quinn Hoff.
Quinn Hoff. He could... I don't know. He can't win.
You know what? I retract my comment. I don't think he's going to.
I mean, there are... NASCAR drivers legitimately say he should not be out there, so like...
Yes, I've heard that multiple times from multiple drivers.
So it's a tough world for Quinn Hoff out there.
It really is.
That poor guy. Well, no, I'm not going to say that poor guy. Well, here, I'm having a hard time pulling it up on my phone, but I know for a fact that Michael McDowell this season has more lead lap finishes than Kyle Busch. I think Michael McDowell had 21. I think he has 22 now because
let me see if
I think I looked up the stat before the race this weekend. But I know that he has more than Kyle Busch, and he has more than Austin Dillon, Ryan Blaney, and Cole Custer, who all made the playoff.
Unbelievable.
And that's insane, especially when you think Ryan Blaney, because Ryan Blaney had a really good regular season despite only winning once.
Well, right.
But, you know, if you put Michael McDowell in decent equipment, or now his equipment is getting better as Front Row Motorsports gets better and better.
They really excelled with not having Matt Tiff, in my opinion. I don't think he did a lot. David Reagan was a good driver, but them going from 3 to 2 they went from 2 to 3, and now going back down to 2 has really helped. And honestly, both those drivers are doing great with the equipment they have.
Yeah. John Hunter's not a bad driver.
John Hunter, in my opinion, is a very good driver.
Yeah.
For the equipment he has, and I think Michael McDowell is an underrated driver. And I hope both of those.
I've seen Michael McDowell
drivers stay at Front Row Motorsports. Front Row Motorsports, yes.
In the Xfinity series, I think that he won a race in the Xfinity, but he'd run a couple races for Gibbs every once in a while, and he was a legitimate threat to win races with Gibbs in the Xfinity against some decent talents. So I've always had a little soft spot for him. I mean, I don't think he's ever going to be a superstar or anything, but he was pretty good.
No, I agree with that, and I do agree with that. Another winner we didn't talk about is Matty D.
Matty D. Oh, just a week late.
A week late. He finished second again. Because
he finished second in the first.
He finished
Vegas
second
race.
in the first Vegas race. That's correct. Unbelievable, that guy at Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
I was really rooting for him at the end. I was okay with Kurt Busch winning. Don't get me wrong.
I was rooting for Kurt. I'm not gonna lie.
I was okay with. I was totally fine with Kurt Busch winning.
If either wins, I'm happy.
Yeah. I was rooting for Matt just because, man, I would just love to see him finally get that one win. But I think his contract. I was listening to the broadcast. They said that they have to let him know on his contract by this week. And if you if you're the Wood brothers,
I think you run it back one more year with him.
I think you run him one more year.
I think that they should keep Cendric one more year in Xfinity.
I agree.
I'm fine with him moving up if they want to move him up, because I think that he'll make it either way in the Cup.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe it wouldn't be the worst to run him back one more year. I think Briscoe's I think Briscoe's winning that title. Maybe you run Cendric another year.
Maybe
we have the year of Cendric in the Xfinity. Then you bring him up to your puppet team.
Yeah, puppet team.
I mean, are Wood Brothers making the decisions? I mean, they were showing Matty D talking to his team, and all of his whole team is just wearing Penske stuff.
Yeah,
it's just a Penske puppet.
It really is. It should just be a Penske team.
Yep, there's satellite teams, there's teams with alliances, and then Wood Brothers is just a straight puppet, which honestly is better for Wood Brothers to just slap their name on a Penske car.
But really, it's Penske's car, money, and everything else, but they just get all the credit for it.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
It's the way to go.
I agree with that. In the Xfinity race, Briscoe won. My pick. No way am I shocked by that.
Yep, I really was just
0% am I surprised by that victory.
Well, he won the spring race too there.
Yep, he absolutely just dominated.
My whole thing with Cendric was, he's back at a 1.5, and he had a couple of not bad weeks, but his hot streak is over. But he's had a couple weeks to recover. They're back at a 1.5.
Yep.
It's the first of the playoffs. He's fallen back behind Briscoe in the power rankings.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was going to be his week, and I think he'll win the Roval. I mean, we're a week out, and I'm already saying I'm picking him for the Roval, no matter what. Even if you pick him, honestly, and then we just have a wash.
Yeah.
Unless they bring back Alex Tagliani and they have him run the 12 for Penske, because I would pick him in a heartbeat because I like him.
No.
He's that road course driver. He's that road course ringer that I really like for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
He's the new Boris Said, except he's way better than Boris Said.
Yeah.
God, I kind of miss Boris Said. That's a random driver from the past.
That really is, Dylan.
Yep.
Super.
I want to talk a little more Kurt Busch, though.
Yep.
Because, God, I like seeing him win. I really liked seeing him win, get to victory lane. It's Las Vegas. It's his hometown. Everybody basically acknowledged that he kind of sucked at that track.
Yep.
Forever.
Yep.
But, he's a top 10 machine this year.
Yeah.
He's definitely overperforming for the equipment.
For sure.
It's just he's so consistent. He's a quiet Amarola. We spent the first couple of weeks of this podcast just fawning over Amarola because that fucker does nothing for years, and now all of a sudden he's on the run of his life. But meanwhile, Kurt Busch is just constantly getting top tens.
He was, even when he switched over to Chip Ganassi beginning of last year, he was just getting top five. And it's just like, oh my god. It's Kurt went through Kurt Busch-assance in a sense.
Yes, a Busch-assance.
A Busch-assance.
A Kurt-assance.
After I'd say probably midway to the end of his Stewart Haas days, and when he switched to Chip Ganassi, he is a totally different person. He's not nearly as
he's
annoying.
Like joyful. He's
joyful.
He seems nice.
Happy that he won.
He seems like he really likes his team. Like, do you remember the Penske years?
He enjoys racing again.
Do you remember the Penske years where he was basically like a villain?
Yeah, big douche.
Yeah, he was a bigger douche than Kyle was. We didn't figure out how much of a douche Kyle was till...
No, I don't think you can ever be a bigger douche than Kyle Busch.
Okay, so like...
Kyle Busch is
he was a bigger public douche than Kyle. We just didn't know how bad Kyle was.
Good point, yeah.
For most of that. I'll phrase it that way. But it's like, this guy's like a team leader guy.
Oh, yes, for sure.
Yeah, like he'll be good for Ross Chastain next year.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, God.
I can agree with that.
And he's like 41, and he's been racing as long as Newman.
He is
as long as Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
As long as Harvick, and he's kind of performing above his age, not to the level that like a Kevin Harvick is, because Kevin Harvick's just a fucking legend.
Yeah.
But it's nice that we've seen Jimmy fall off recently. Not saying that that's nice, Matt. Don't punch me. But we've seen Ryan Newman, who I also want to touch on a little later, fall off the fucking map. Complete wreck.
I just don't think Ryan Newman was ever that great.
I think when
he was in a Dodge, he was all right.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, he's just been kind of the Ryan Fitzpatrick of the NASCAR. He can show up every once in a while.
Yep.
But he just gets tossed around from team to team. Just kind of doesn't do much of anything. And he's just somehow still in the sport.
Somehow just surprises you every once in a while. Like, do you remember the inaugural, playoff format?
Yeah, he finished second.
Yeah.
He finished behind Kevin Harvick by, a second.
If he would have won that race, that would have been his only win.
Yep.
He won one race his entire RCR tenure.
He only did one, really. I thought.
That was the
Phoenix race that he won.
Yeah, it was his last win. It was in 2017, I believe.
That sounds right.
Well, now we're talking
right.
Newman.
Let me pull it up. Let me pull up his stats because that sounds. I know he won the Phoenix race.
Yeah. And, I just got to say this. Does NBC have, a weird thing where they just got to mention, where they got to give, Ryan Newman his due every week, almost like they know it's at the end? Because I was watching that, and I think he was about to get passed, and he's like, Rick Allen's talking, this isn't going to be an easy pass. Ryan Newman, he's tough.
Tough driver to pass.
Every
time they say that.
Always gives 100%. As the leader just blows by him. Just blows by him. And I'm like, that's just sad. I mean, what is it, guaranteed rate or something?
Yeah.
They pay a lot of money to NBC to put Newman out there.
Let me say this.
Because the Rocket Man is dead. He's been pretty dead. If we threw him in the doghouse, we euthanize him right away. We aren't keeping him around.
Good point. Let me say this.
He's at the end of his rope.
I can agree with that.
He'll be driving for Go Fast Racing. He'll replace Corey LaJoie.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think he'd probably retire before he did that. Maybe I'm wrong. who knows what the hell's going to happen and where they're going to go and what's all going to... What do I know? Really, what do I know?
Also, I guess devil's advocate, we don't really know how bad Roush is.
Roush really sucks.
I mean, yes, they suck, but do we know how bad they suck? If it's the drivers? Because Chris Buescher, given his past results, is having a pretty good year.
I think really
really
last year was a really good year for Chris Buescher.
This year's been really good,
This year has been an alright year for Chris Buescher.
Do you remember the Daytona road course race? He ran pretty good.
Now you're going to make me pull up. Right.
I'm making you do
Chris
all the
Buescher's
research. Just like your Jamie from Joe Rogan. Except you're not as fast typing.
Well, I'm trying to not make it overly loud. I think his last season with JTG was pretty good. He's still pretty young pup.
Oh, yeah. And he's got that Xfinity championship. Like, he's quiet, but, I mean, he's had a nice run in NASCAR.
Let's see. Last year he finished 20th in points. Actually, well, never mind. I was going to say, from Motorsports he finished 16th, but that was because he had that one win at Pocono. But last year it was... His worst finish last year was 36 at Dover and then 31 at Richmond. But then besides that, I mean, really, like, to take out the super speedways in that Dover race, his average is like 15th to like 10th. He actually ran really good, like Atlanta 9, Vegas 18, Phoenix 16, California 16, Texas 20, top 10 at Kansas, top 10 at Charlotte, 14, 16, 16, 18, 17, 10, 15, 16, 13, 14, 17, 12, 15, 18. For JTG Doherty, that's a fantastic season for those guys.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic. And I just think overall that was really good.
Hendrick 48, question mark?
No, he's not. He's going to stay at Roush, but that would actually be...
that might be a smart
that'd
buy low.
That actually would...
For him.
That could potentially pay off. I actually don't think he's that bad of a driver. And then I think he's gotten worse when in my opinion, he's gotten less consistent when he went to Roush. I mean, he had a top 3 at Daytona. Okay, well then, a few top 20s, 1 top 10, then 2 more top 10s, 1 other top 5. Again, at Daytona, 2 Daytona top 5s. The rest were like 4 top 10s. So, I mean...
Doing a lot better than Newman.
Oh, I agree. He is the better Roush driver.
Yeah.
And if you're Roush, this was a good move.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think he's definitely elevated their team. Now, I'm not saying he's making them race-winning teams.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it's better than what Ricky Stenhouse has ever done for. Besides, get them those 2 random wins.
Mm-hmm. In the same year. Couldn't even space him out.
No, he couldn't. He really couldn't. That was the highlight in recent years for Jack Roush. Those
like
2
the last
wins.
half
Those
decade.
2 wins.
Yes.
Since Carl Edwards and the Biff left.
The Biff.
Gotta bring up the Biff.
God, the Biff. The last good Roush driver. The Biff.
Yeah, no, I in no way am I.
Also, I want to just swing this back to Kurt Busch because I just saw this today.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, 2021, which I know is his last year with
contracted,
Chip,
right?
He said it's 50-50 chance that next year is his last year, which I honestly, right now, like, I don't want to see him go just because team leader, Twilight Kurt Busch is kind of my favorite Kurt Busch right now.
I agree.
Like,
he has been my favorite Kurt Busch.
Like, and this has been building for a while with me ever since I saw the Coke 400 interview after he got wrecked out of it, where he was just I'm bringing it back to Kyle. Kyle's all pissed off, just wants 2020 to be over.
Yep.
Kurt's like, we're rallying the troops. We're gonna come back. We're in the playoff. We're gonna run great. We're going to try to win a race. We're going to go for this championship. We're making a run. Kyle, that fucking douchebag. I mean,
that fucking douchebag.
He called his shot saying, we'll get eliminated next round. Well, his fucking brother put him under the cut line by 9 points. Now he's going into Talladega, which he's never been good at.
Yeah.
And then he's got the Roval, which anything could happen at the Roval, too. Especially if he's still below that cut line.
Oh, yeah. I would love to see Kyle Busch out in this next round. Oh, just fucking love to see it. Oh, just shove him one. Just really ream him one. All he's going to say, it's just 2020. Well, I don't know.
You know, I mean,
maybe you could go out there and try to rally your team.
Didn't have any practice.
LeBron was down 3-1 in the 2016 NBA Finals, and he didn't say, we're going to lose. He just said, let's fucking get this and go out and win championship, and that's what he did.
Tom Brady was down 28-3
to the
Super Bowl.
I will say, all right,
and
the last 2 weeks, the Falcons have blown a big lead.
Yeah,
double-digit lead.
I think it's Dan Quinn's still coaching them, right? I think it's time for him to go.
Honestly.
I'm pretty sure he is. I think it might be a Dan Quinn thing with them. But still, Tommy had about 17 minutes of game time left. And then he dragged them all the way to overtime, and then he won it in overtime. So I'm just saying, Kyle, well, I do want Kyle to give up. But I'm saying, Kyle, you can't just give up like that, you fucking imbecile.
Yeah, I would love Kyle to give up, too. I would love him to just say, fuck it, I'm done with this and leave. Because, I mean, that'd be great. But I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Not soon. It won't happen soon anyway.
And then next year, assuming he doesn't win a race this year, next year he's going to win a 1.5 early in the season. And there'll be practice again, and he'll win a couple of Xfinity and truck races, and he'll go, oh, yeah, well, it was all because 2020 just fucking sucked. And we didn't have practice, and we didn't have this and that. And I'm just going to be like, oh, you fucking dick. You're such a great driver, apparently, but they changed the game a little bit, and all of a sudden you can't play anymore.
Yeah, that's what separates Jimmy from Kyle, because
that's what separates Kevin Harvick from Kyle. This is why Kevin Harvick's my NASCAR daddy.
That's true. Because I'm just saying, they changed the format because Jimmy won so many championships.
And then Jimmy won another championship in that format.
After they changed it, yeah.
Yeah.
Because just to kind of give him another middle finger to NASCAR saying, screw you, I can still do it.
You can't ever truly Jimmy-proof any kind of format.
Yeah, I agree.
At least back when Jimmy was in his prime.
I agree. Back when Chad was still his crew chief.
Yep.
Is stepping away from being crew chief. And let me backtrack. I shouldn't say stepping away. Chad Knaus is getting promoted by Rick Hendrick to Vice President of Competition, I believe is the technical title.
Who's the president?
That's a great question.
That's probably Hendrick himself.
Know. Probably. Kind
of like how John Elway in football is vice president of football operations.
Yep. So, I'm sorry. Chad Knaus is getting promoted. So, here's what I want to say. Question, if you will. What the hell is William Byron going to do? Who are they going to take to fill his spot? Because let me say this. The only reason I ever had hope in Willie B was they had Chad Knaus. And Chad Knaus is a fucking genius. That was my only hope. That's really the only thing that Willie had going for him was, well, I have Chad Knaus. I have one of the best crew chiefs in the garage. Which I'll agree. Top 5 crew chief, right? In my opinion. Top 5.
I'd say.
Not best. I wouldn't say
82 wins and 7 championships. He's doing pretty good.
Yeah. I'm not saying he's, as of right now, the best in the garage. I don't. I think it's Rodney Childress within a fucking... He's probably 14 miles ahead in the marathon right now compared to anybody else. But he's top 5. All right.
Unquestioned.
Chad Knaus,
yes.
Top 5. So, what the hell is Willie going to do? I don't honestly think William Byron is that overly great that he can just go out and win a race by himself without backing team.
Mm-hmm.
And he hasn't shown anything to me that said, yeah, he can do it. Honestly, the three rookies the field right now... We've never
seen him do it.
Well, right. The three rookies in the field right now are better, in my opinion, than William Byron. And I think, besides maybe Cole Custer, Tyler Reddick and Christopher Bell aren't in as good of equipment. And I think they've had more top fives this year, if not the same amount of top fives as William Byron. I really, kick Willie B out, steal Tyler Reddick from RCR.
In all honesty, Matt, I think...
And Hendrick's 20 times better.
In all honesty, I think Cole Custer's on Willie B's level. I think he's completely on, because, Cole Custer is very capable of getting a top 10 run on a good day.
Mm-hmm.
Same with William Byron. Every once in a while, they could sneak in the top 5, even though William Byron has barely done that this year.
He's had 3, I think. And they all came right as his win, and then the 2 races before his win in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. And when the opportunity arises, if they're in the top 5 and there's a late restart, they have a chance to win. I wouldn't ever bet on them winning,
No, neither would I.
Basically, the top 2 cars at Kentucky, which I feel like we always talk about, basically knocked each other out.
Yep.
And then Cole Custer snuck through the middle.
Snuck through there and passed them and got the dub.
Yeah. Stole your... Yep.
Don't
Stole
talk
the
about
W.
it.
Yep.
I'm more upset at Austin Dillon than Cole Custer, because Cole Custer actually made a good move.
You have a holy trinity going right now, Matt, of just people you hate. You have... It's 3-pronged attack.
Austin Dillon, Kyle Busch, Mark Truex Jr. are for sure on that list.
Well, no, okay, so more of you think they're trash and they just destroy you.
Then it's Brandon
Custer,
Jones,
Brandon Jones, and
Eric
Austin Dillon.
and Austin Dillon. Yeah, right after I talk shit, they always somehow pull something out of their ear.
Ooh, it's a foursome. Whew. I forgot about Eric Almirola, except here's the thing.
Although Eric Almirola
hasn't won a race.
We kind of gave him his credit.
He's cooled off.
He's cooled off.
He's still alive.
He's still there. But we were right in that he didn't win a race. And we gave him his credit of he's running good for his season. For his career. He's running a good season. He is. And I'll agree to that. He is.
Yes.
He can go out and win next week, and who knows?
If there's ever a race he's going to win, it's going to be this week. But this is also his best season ever. So I feel like he's got to get the one win, because at his best, he wins one race.
I agree with that.
He wins one race.
Yes, he does. Well, let's talk Talladega quick. What I will say is we're recording this on Tuesday. There is some news that came out, but we're going to talk about it tomorrow, because I've seen reports that the 2021 schedule is coming out tomorrow afternoon, and we are 100% going to dissect that thing to a T. And I cannot wait for that schedule.
Get ready for a 50-minute Matt monologue.
Honestly, Dylan, why do you even show up? Let me just do the whole thing.
Honestly, I'm going to sit back. I'm going to crack a Miller Lite, because I got a free flag this week.
Oh, you did?
I bought a 24-pack Miller Lite. So I bought more Miller Lite.
There you go.
So, yep, we'll be drinking during the next pod.
I like that discussion.
So I'm just going to sit back. I'm going to have a beer, and I'm going to go, yep.
Yeah, you're right, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, good point.
Mm-hmm.
So I will have plenty to talk about the schedule. I've mentioned it before. All I ever talk about is the schedule, because there's just so many better things to do.
He likes talking about the schedule more than watching the races.
I don't know if I'd say that, but I do like talking about the schedule.
I don't know, Matt. If you saw your face when you're talking about the schedule, I'd think that you like talking about the schedule more than watching the actual races.
You see my reaction when I watch the races. You know what goes into the races. So,
true.
Talladega, last super speedway of the season, before, obviously, then we have the 500.
Scares the shit out of me.
Who the fuck are you going to pick? Because draw one out of the hat, or what are you doing? Are you going to go 2 for 2 here in the last 2 super speedways? Or
So, here's the thing. I give Chevy so much disrespect on a weekly basis. So I'm going to pick Chevy for my 1-point manufacturer. Chevy's just going to be my 1-point manufacturer. If they win, great. I got a point, just like how you got Chase Briscoe this week. It's
the 1 point I got. The 1 point, and I'll take it.
It's a nice little insurance policy. It's not big, but you
got one. So you're probably banking on the 47 special to win to get you that 1 point.
He's always there.
Chase Elliott, who won spring of 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Or
there's always the Penske's.
There's always Matt Kenseth that somehow could pull one right out of his ass and win that race as a Chevy. I'm thinking Chevy drivers. Brendan Gaughan's going to be in that race, so Brendan Gaughan might get one out.
That would be a nice little.
That'd be a good send off for him. Yep. That should be his last race, I believe.
It is
for Brendan Gaughan, so that'd be cool.
And I think that he's finished in the top 10 in his last 2 races here. Or was it his last two restrictor?
Oh, I was gonna say, I'm like,
races.
he flipped last year. Do you remember that crash?
Shit, yeah.
I'm like, he flipped.
That popped into my head, and I'm like, wait,
there's no chance that happened.
Let me just correct myself.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that would be a nice little pick, but I don't think I can pick him.
So who are you taking? Who's your team?
I am
a
Christian, so I will not pick Ricky Stenhouse Jr. I'm a God-fearing Christian.
All right.
Eric Almirola, though. I don't write that down yet. I think he could win it, but for my team, before I commit to any driver, I'm going to go Penske just because that's the Penske track.
It really is. No, I fully agree with you on that.
Actually, I'm going to punt right now, and I'm going to go to the Xfinity, our 1-point Xfinity, and I'm going to pick Ross Chastain right away.
Oh, good pick.
Because, I don't think Justin Haley wins another super speedway race.
So I'm going to pick a good one. That's a
old Ross Chastain.
Shit, that's a good.
Give me the watermelon, man.
Yeah, I'm going to check the entry list because if the dinger is somehow in it, I don't know if he will be. I don't think he is because I don't think he can be.
Well, those calling cars are just so good.
That's why I'm like, you know what?
And honestly, look. The few, the proud, the Fords just can't get them.
Yeah.
They were. God, I want to talk about that Daytona race.
He is in it. I'm picking Dinger.
Oh, you're picking the Dinger?
Dinger. Fuck it, I'm picking Dinger.
All right.
I'm picking Dinger.
God, the only way that they were going to beat him was they're going to try to push him up the track and run him out of gas. That's so fucking insane.
Yeah.
But if it were to work,
somehow would have worked, which I don't think it had any chance of working.
I don't really think it's like. I feel like it was trying to get honey out of a hornet's nest there. But, you got to admire the fact that they tried.
It was trying to... Oh, what's another one? It was trying to get 20 cents out of 15 or something like that. Like, it's just impossible, but, they tried it anyway. Yeah, rubbing the corners together, hoping they mate. Yeah, it didn't work. So, driver for the Cup race. Driver for the Cup race, Dylan. Who are you picking?
I don't want to do it, man. But
please don't tell me who you were going to say, Dylan. Who?
Almirola.
All right. Almirola.
I don't want to do it, but I feel like Harvick is just gonna safe. We're going for a top 10.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna be fine. We're gonna try to get stage points. We're good. I already have the Penske, just so I have my Blaney. Yeah. I have my Logano, who's good there. He's won a race there. He likes to run up front.
Yep.
Brad's the fucking... Ever since Junior retired, Brad's the man historically at Talladega. He's got, 5 wins there?
Yeah. So I'm picking Brad.
Fuck!
I put him down, and then you just kept ranting about him, and I'm like, Dylan, you're going to hate my pick.
I'm doing all your talking.
Really? I was like, oh, okay, thanks, Dylan. I'm like, I'm picking Brad. Yeah. I'm going to go Hendrick for team, though.
Ooh.
I know. I'm going Hendrick for team.
Saucy.
Ford for manufacturer, because I'm just sticking with the Fords. I'm not picking a Toyota. Right. Statistically, they have the least amount of chance to win based off just the number of cars they have.
And also, I feel like they don't really care that much about the super speedways.
No. But somehow Denny Hamlin still
except
wins
for
the
Hamlin,
500.
Except for Hamlin.
Freaking real.
I mean, Truex, has he ever won a super speedway race? I don't know. Kyle Busch probably got like a random Coke 400 at some point, but like
I know he's won it at Talladega.
He is not good.
Yeah, I'm not picking him.
Eric Jones
he
is
got
aggressive.
The Coke 400,
yes,
which you hate.
Yeah, I sure do.
I sure hate it.
His only good win in my mind is
the
that
Southern 500 last year. Absolutely, I fully agree.
And honestly, like that's the one thing that I hold on to where I'm like, this guy could be a really good driver because he
flat out won that race.
It was an outright win. Like some dudes just make it on consistency and opportunity.
Yeah.
But Eric Jones just outright won that race.
Speaking of Eric Jones, real quick, I just want to touch on this. He had top 10 this last week, and I legitimately think he needs to be in a good team next year.
I don't want him running the 43.
No.
I don't want him on that team.
I want him running a legitimately decent, good team. Like, I don't want him just basically getting top 15 finishes with RPM, overperforming, but only having chances to win at the super speedways. That would be the worst thing for Eric Jones. Yeah.
I hold on hope. He was God, I just think back to how good of a truck driver and an Xfinity driver that he was too. And out of that entire crop of like the Gibbs like development drivers, he was definitely the best one that they ever had in those lower series.
Mm-hmm.
And when I just think back to that Southern 500, I'm like he's a good driver. He's inconsistent, and you can tell that he's just the last driver that they focus on.
I can agree. But, point being, I legitimately think Eric Jones needs to be in a good ride. I think he is better than people give him credit for. I mean, he's had some not-so-great finishes this year, but on the other side, he's had some decent finishes this year. He just needs to get that level of consistency.
But, I don't know where he's going to end up this year because it seems like the 14 is either going to be Kyle Larson.
Yep.
Well, Kyle Larson's either going to end up in the 48 or the 14. And Briscoe, there's no way Stuart Haas, I think, will move Briscoe up. But now I'm thinking, well, do they just throw Briscoe in the 14? Because I think that they're going to punt. Well, they did punt, and they re-signed Eric Almirola.
They did.
Through next year.
Yes.
It's like...
who knows, Dylan? Save that for another pod. We got scheduled talk tomorrow, and it's going to be me doing probably 50%.
Yes.
More than that.
Maybe I get us on silly season conversation just so I can sneak in a couple words.
There.
Get credit for being in the podcast.
Yeah. Really, yeah. If not, it'd just be me talking about my thoughts on it. But we'll talk tomorrow.
Yes. I just want to say one more thing. If you'd like to contact us, you can reach us at missinggearpodcast@gmail.com. If you send us an email, because the first 3 people that send us an email, I will mail you a free Missing Gear t-shirt.
There you go.
Whatever
right
size,
here.
I'll pay for whatever shipping,
and we will give
anywhere in the world, I will pay for it.
Yes.
First 3 people that email us, missinggearpodcast@gmail.com.
Free t-shirt and a sticker.
That's right, you made stickers.
I made stickers and a sticker. Also, if you email us and you want to be on the pod, we'll take any guests. So, just saying.
We'll set it up. We'll work around your schedule.
Absolutely. We'll make anything happen.
Please remember to rate, subscribe, tell a friend.
Catch us on YouTube.
We have a Facebook page. We'll try to post on it.
Dylan does. I don't. I don't do that.
I'm not the greatest at it.
Dylan does the Facebook. I don't. And I'm okay with that. Well, we'll catch you guys later this week. Thanks.
Bye, guys.